You're welcome to your favorite program, The Power Circuit, from the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This program keeps you informed about the operations of TCN as it transmits bulk power and manages the national power grid. In today's edition, we're bringing to you a special coverage of the week-long workshop of the West African Power Pool WAP on the North Core interconnection project held in Abuja. Series of meetings were held during the workshop to revalidate the implementation actions for the project, which is to build about 875 kilometers of 330 kilovolts power transmission line that would connect Nigeria to Burkina Faso through Niger, Benin, and Togo. According to the Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Maman, who presided over one of these sessions, the project will increase access to electricity for the participating member countries, while Nigeria would earn more revenue and create jobs from the energy exports. Stay with us through this. I am Amara Agugoisi. Nigeria has played host to officials of the West African Power Pool WAP, where a series of meetings were held towards realizing the North Core transmission project. This meeting was hosted by the Chairman, Executive Board of WAP, and Acting Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz.
The workshop, which eventually lasted for 4 days, began with a familiarization session where the WAP Chairman and TCN Head, represented by the General Manager Program Coordination at TCN, Engineer Joseph Chiroma, welcomed the dignitaries from across 5 West African and member countries of WAP, including Nigeria.
We also want to recognize representatives of energy from Burkina Faso, Togo, Benin, Niger, as well as our home country, Nigeria. We also want to represent also recognize representatives of utilities that are here with us, such as Solabel, Nigerlec, CV, SEED, and others. They are all welcome.
He said at the opening session, member utilities from the various countries were to make presentations on what the requirements of their countries are towards executing the North Core project.
On behalf of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, on behalf of the Minister of Power, I want to formally welcome all of you and wish all of us a fruitful and interacting networking to ensure that we achieve the goal that we should have all here for.
In his remarks, the Secretary General of WAP, Senge Apoloniki, said WAP was carrying out various priority projects in power transmission in line with its master plan of 2019 to 2033. He further gave a background of how the North Core transmission project began and the impact it will create when completed and energized. The various heads of utility companies under WAP made their presentations on the power grid requirements in their respective countries as part of the requirements for the North Core project implementation.
The Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Maman, says Nigeria is hosting the secretariat for the West African Power Pool WAP North Core interconnection project. Here is more of this in this report.
The minister, who was represented by the Director of Transmission in the Federal Ministry of Power, Engineer Nosike Emmanuel, stated this at the second day of the workshop on the WAP North Core project in Abuja.
We are aware that this project has been endorsed by the World Bank, African Development Bank, and French Development Agency, and they will finance different segments of the proposed transmission line. The project financing is already effective, and the implementation structure for the project has earlier been established with Project Implementation Unit, PIU, to be located here in Abuja. There is no doubt that the project development objective of reducing the cost of electricity within the member states will be achieved.
The minister further stated the expected impact of the projects on the member states when it is achieved.
This project will stimulate growth in economic activities of the citizens of the member states through improved electricity availability and affordability. This will directly translate to improved productivity and well-being of the citizens. With abundant gas resources in Nigeria and the efforts of the present administration of the federal government of Nigeria to strengthen the power sector, as well as improve on the ease of doing business in the country, Nigeria has the potential to generate and export low-cost electricity to the sub-region. This is very possible with the adoption of competitive procurement of power within the commercial framework of the North Core project.
In his address, the WAP Executive Board Chairman and Acting Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, welcomed the participants consisting of the commercial, technical, and transmission committees, as well as consultants for the project. He said the meeting is a very important milestone for the project, as members could review the project and ensure that the participating countries get the maximum benefits.
We are very pleased to welcome you all to Nigeria on behalf of the Transmission Company of Nigeria. Your visit is indeed a testimony of your recognition of Nigerian key role in the NOSCO interconnection project, which will, when completed, connect Nigeria, Niger, Benin, Togo, Burkina Faso on 330 kV double-circuit transmission line with associated substations. This meeting is a very important milestone in this project, as it will allow us to review the commercial framework of this project and ensure that all utilities, market participants, and countries will get the maximum benefit from this project when completed.
Engineer Abdulaziz further noted that Nigeria is committed to the project and the Presidential Power Initiative towards developing robust power sector capacity in the country.
In TCN, work programs are top on our priority list, and we have demonstrated this in the last year of my being in the helm affairs of TCN by supporting the full, both technically, administratively, and financially through the Nigerian government. What's of note is the fact that the Honorable Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Amman, has given us all the needed support to ensure that TCN delivers on the Presidential Power Initiative of ensuring delivery of quality electricity to every part of Nigeria. This, in turn, will translate to a robust grid network in Nigeria and encourage transborder electricity market across the West African sub-region, invariably contributed to actualization the WAP mandate. Taken together, all these mandates are also in line with TCN's fundamental vision, that is to be one of the leading electricity transmission companies in the world by providing efficient and effective power supply to Nigeria at affordable cost.
He charged the participants on effective brainstorming towards making the meeting a successful one.
I will therefore allow you all to continue deliberations.
The Secretary General of WAP, Segi Apoloniki, noted that despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the North Core transmission project implementation had recorded significant progress in the initial stage, along with support from Nigeria and the other countries.
The objective is to increase the capacity of electricity in our countries and also to reduce the cost of having electricity in these countries, which are Niger, Benin, Togo, and Burkina Faso, and also to increase access to electricity to these countries. At the same time, increase, revenue within this power sector in Nigeria.
Mr. Key also stated that there are various committees set up by WAP to ensure the realization of the project, just as he highlighted the imperative of the workshop.
So this workshop is organized to help us understand the regulatory framework of electricity management in Nigeria and to determine all the parameters that need to be taken into account in this process, bidding process. So with the exchanges we are going to have today will be of great importance for the committee. I hope they will have frank and productive exchanges that will help us to have an attractive dossier this weekend. I wish you an excellent meeting. Thank you.
After the opening session, various participants made a presentation of the requirements for constructing the transborder transmission line. The Director of Transmission in the Federal Ministry of Power, Engineer Nosike Emmanuel, made a presentation on the role of the federal government in building Nigeria's stretch of the North Core transmission line to the border of Niger Republic in Birnin Kebbi. There was also a presentation on the role and relationship with stakeholders by the Commissioner, Engineering, Performance, Monitoring and Enforcement at the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, Professor Frank Okafor, who was represented by another NEC official, Engineer Chinedu Kabiala.
The power circuit continues after this break.
Do not build under transmission power lines for your safety and health. Electricity power lines and substations, either for power transmission or power distribution services, are extremely dangerous when exposed to direct human contact. These power lines and substations transmit electricity that lights up our homes and offices, power our computers, TVs, and refrigerators. On the other hand, the same electricity when exposed is extremely dangerous. It can shock, electrocute, and kill anyone on its way. That is why everyone must adopt safety measures whenever we use or are close to electricity facilities like power lines or substation or transformers. For the safety of the people and animals, governments all over the world have approved way leave or right-of-way of 50 meters for 330 kV power lines and 30 meters for 132 kV power lines, and for 33 kV lines, the way leave is 15 meters. People are not expected to be found within this way leave or right-of-way for safety reasons. The lines can suddenly cut and fall to the ground with very disastrous consequences such as fire and electrocution of anybody and destruction of anything, be it vehicle, houses or vegetation on its line. It has also been established that power lines and substation emit electromagnetic fields, EMF, which is dangerous to human health. The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that people who spend long hours under or close high-tension lines stand the risk of being affected by EMF and be vulnerable to cancer, leukemia in children, miscarriages among pregnant women, and other terrible diseases. It is therefore advisable not to build any structure or operate any business under or near any electricity high-tension lines or substations. TCN wants you to stay alive, stay safe, stay healthy, avoid power lines. This message is from the management of Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
The presentation session by member utility firms continued on the third day of the WAP workshop on the North Core interconnection project. We'll take you through some.
The head commercial at the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, NDPHC, Mahmoud Wali, expressed its readiness for the bilateral electricity trading when the North Core interconnection line becomes operational. The Chief Executive Officer of First Independent Power Limited, a subsidiary of Sahara Power Group in Port Harcourt, Mr. Godwin Emmanuel, also spoke about his company's preparedness. The Chief Technical Officer of Geregu Power PLC in Kogi State, Engineer Reginald Eze, said the company has the capacity for energy exports.
Chairman Executive Board of the West African Power Pool WAP, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, says the realization of the North Core Power Transmission Line project will increase access to electricity across Nigeria, Niger, Benin, Togo, and Burkina Faso.
Engineer Abdulaziz, who is also the acting managing director and chief executive officer of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, stated this while briefing pressmen during the WAP technical and commercial workshop on the North Core interconnection project in Abuja.
The power will be selling is the power that is not needed in Nigeria. These generators that are going to supply power to this transmission line are going to generate that power specifically for this project. So it's not part of the power that they are giving Nigerians. It's a separate one. He also noted that Nigeria is expecting new generators to participate in the energy export for the 875 kilometer of 330 kilovolt North Core transmission line from Nigeria through Niger, Togo, Benin to Burkina Faso. In addition to that, there are some communities that are on the line, around 611, and they are going to get also light so that they will not just see a transmission line passing through and they do not benefit from anything.
Engineer Abdulaziz, who said the project funded by the World Bank, French Development Council, and the African Development Bank has recorded significant progress, stated its benefits.
Nigeria has the greatest advantage among these 4 countries because the electricity is going to be exported from Nigerian generators. Our revenue is going to enhance and a lot of people will be employed in Nigeria.
The Secretary General of WAP, Sengi Apoloniki, said the project is being financed by the respective benefiting member countries of WAP through the donor agencies.
This one we call North Core is just a line, about a bit less than 900 kilometers line from here till Burkina Faso, passing through Niger. We also a link to Benin. We have donors. We are founding indeed the countries. So each country, the part of investment in each country is founded by this country, and the countries are supported by the donors, and Nigeria is taking its own.
He also said the funding agreement is ready as they await the disbursement. However, the donor agencies had said they needed a power purchase agreement, PPA, between the buying and the selling countries to be executed before releasing the fund.
So we will bring to the ministers this issue and ask them to ask the donors to make a kind of, to remove this condition before disbursing and let go on with the implementation.
Nigeria's Minister of Power, Engineer Saleh Maman, has said about 2/3 of the people in sub-Saharan Africa, which is approximately 600 million people, are without access to electricity, in spite of the significant natural resources they have. Engineer Maman stated this at the inaugural Joint Ministerial Steering Committee meeting of the West African Power Pool WAP on the North Core interconnection project. This was the grand session of WAP workshop held in Abuja, Nigeria, on the North Core Power Transmission Project. Here is the full report.
Engineer Mohammed said the lack of reliable and affordable electricity significantly constrains economic activity and growth in these countries and affects disproportionately the poorest segment of the population of the sub-region.
2/3 of the sub-Saharan African population, approximately 600 million people, are without access to electricity, despite the regional significant endowment of the natural resources. The lack of reliable and affordable electricity significantly constrains economic activities and growth in these countries and affects disproportionately the poorest segment of the population of the sub-region, which is in turn has a profound impact on health and social service delivery, particularly vulnerable groups such as elderly people, children, and women. As a result of high economic growth, rapid urbanization, large population increases, and government activities policies to expand access within ECOWAS members' countries, industries, and commercial electricity demand and projected to enjoy sustained growth in the coming decades.
It is in this regard that the minister said the launch of the North Core Power Transmission Project in 2019 could not have come at a better time, as it is one of the key envisaged solutions for coping with the large electricity supply-demand imbalance within the ECOWAS sub-region.
The North Core project involved the construction of approximately 875 kilometers of 330 kV and 24 kilometers of 225 kV transmission line from Nigeria to Burkina Faso through Niger and Benin with associated substations. The project will also involve the electrification of rural communities located within a 5-kilometer radius on both sides of the lines and the implementation of several environmental and social mitigation measures.
Mamman disclosed that this large-scale project is financed by the African Development Bank, AFDB, Agency Française de Développement, AFD, the World Bank, WB, and the federal government of Nigeria.
This has already been assented to by the ECOWAS head of state and government in their approval in December 2018. of the ECOWAS Master Plan for the Development of Regional Generations and Transmission Infrastructure 2019 to 2033.
Mammons said after completing the project, the operation and maintenance of the entire infrastructure shall be handed over to the utility companies of the participating countries.
I am quite confident will result in the opening and evaluation of the bids for the substations and plans to be completed by the end of July 2021. And that contract negotiations already started with potential EPC contractors, with the transmission line will be completed in time for the start of the construction by August 2021.
The ECOWAS Commissioner for Energy and Mines, Mr. Sediku Daukar, said the new transmission line will allow initial energy exchange of 430 megawatts, which could reach 600 megawatts in 5 to 10 years after its launch, and could boost trade exchange, which is at 5% now, among the 14 interconnected countries of ECOWAS.
The project also contributes to increasing access to electricity, particularly in rural areas, by electrifying more than 600 localities or villages located along the interconnection lines, mainly in Burkina Faso and Niger Republic. This is a catalyst that will help raise the regional access rate, which is currently only 45%. The two main reasons combined give an integrated status of this major project.
Mr. Dauka urged the participants to work towards realizing the DREAM project, which would complement two other WAP interconnection projects that will help to increase access to electricity in West Africa.
I will urge all stakeholders to fully engage in their respective roles for the effective and efficient implementation of this large-scale flagship project.
The Secretary General of WAP, Sengi Apoloniki, said the project will undoubtedly make a reality of ECOWAS' dream of embedding national electricity networks in a unified regional electricity market with a view to ensuring a regular, reliable and competitive cost supply of electricity to the member states.
The project started in operations in May 2019 following the recruitment of key personnel. The completion of this regional interconnection project, which is scheduled to be commissioned in the second half of 2023, will undoubtedly help in realizing ECOWAS's dream of integrating national power grids into a unified regional electricity market.
Present at the inaugural meeting were the Niger Minister of Petroleum, Energy and Renewable Energy, Mrs. Sami Mahamadou Mahama, the Benin Minister of Energy, represented by Mr. Raufu Motario Badaro, Togo Minister of Energy, Ms. Mila Aziebo, and the Burkina Faso Minister of Energy, Mr. Bashir Ishmael Quadrago.
That is it for this edition, which is all about the workshop of the West African Power Pool WAP on the North Core Interconnection Project held in Abuja recently. Thanks for staying with us on this edition of the Power Circuit. You can view this episode and others on the TCN YouTube channel. Please interact with us on these platforms because TCN needs your support to deliver more on its mandate this year. TCN wishes you the best always, and remember to adhere to the coronavirus prevention protocol. I am Amara Agugoisi. See you next week.